Wednesday, the 29th day of June. Many thanks for joining us here on KTNE's For Political Thursday, specifically Choice 2017, where we take a look at a particular region, the politics in that region, and how they will inform how the people there will decide in just 39 days on the August 8th general election. Good evening. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Akisa Wandera. I'll be taking you through the program. Tonight, we focus on the Mount Kenya East region. That is the Meru region, Meru County and Tharaka Nithi counties. In studio, I will be having a very candid conversation with Meru Governor Peter Munya on the politics and the development issues of Meru County. So that is a conversation you do not want to miss. And we'll definitely like to engage with you on our Twitter poll question at this hour. We ask you, who do you think will win the Meru Governor race? Who do you think will win the Meru Governor race? Is it Peter Munya? Is it Senator Kiraitu Murungi? Is it Kilemi Mwiria, who's running with the Maendeleo Chap-Chap ticket? Or Gatobu Kinoti, who is running as an independent candidate? That is the race we are focusing on at this hour. Once again, many thanks for staying with us. And before we get into that discussion, let's take a look at a number of the facts and information we have on Meru County. Before we get onto that particular discussion, see what really is a Meru County. What does it entail? What constituencies are in Meru County? It is one of the counties with a very huge number of constituencies. But let's start with the number of registered voters in this particular county. That is 487,265. This was the number of registered voters in the 2013 general election, but this number has significantly gone up from the latest figures we have from the IEBC. The number of registered voters in the county of Meru currently is 702,480, about 300,000 higher than what we saw in 2013. So the constituencies that are there in Meru County, we have Mount Kenya East, Gembe South, Gembe Central, and Gembe North, as well as Tigania West, North Imenti, Buri, Central Imenti, and South Imenti. Like I mentioned, this is one of the counties that has a very big number of constituencies, like counties like Kiambu as well. And when you talk about the Mount Kenya East region, we focus on both Meru and Tharaka Nithi County. Both Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties, these are the constituencies in Tharaka Nithi counties, Mara, Chuka, and Tharaka, the three constituencies that are found in that particular county. So let's take a look at the population of this. Of course, the codes 012 and 013 respectively for Meru and Tharaka. Let's take a look at the population according to the 2009 census for both counties. So on Meru County, the population is at 1.3 million according to the 2009 census, and the number of registered voters, like I earlier mentioned, is 702,480. This figure is from the IEBC, the latest released after the whole process of registering voters and voters confirming their details with the IEBC with just 39 days, as I earlier mentioned, to the general election. Let's take a look at the population we have in Tharaka Nithi County, 365,330. Of course, once again, according to the 2009 census, and the number of registered voters is 213,154. Unlike the big number we've seen of new registered voters in Meru, in Tharaka, we've just seen a rise in the number of registered voters of about 13 or 14,000. In Meru, that always seems to be the big brother of Tharaka Nithi. The number of registered voters, new registered voters, has gone up by about 300,000. So the politics there, the governor who I'm hosting tonight is Peter Munya, Senator Kiraitu Murungi, who's also garnering to take over the seat from Peter Munya, the incumbent, and the women representative is Florence Kajuju, as far as the administration there is concerned of Meru County. So these are some of the details you had to know. Let's take a look at how they voted. All right, let's go to Tharaka Nithi, the Governor, Samuel Ragwa, Senator Kithure Kindiki, as well as the Women Rep Beatrice Nkatha. Then finally, we can take a look at how they voted in 2013, then see how we can link this to 2017. 39 days from now, I insist. And this, once again, is the number of registered voters they had in 2013. So how they voted in 2013 in Meru County, Raila Odinga garnered 32,447 votes, which translates to 7.55% of the votes. He was running with ODM. Musalia Mudavadi garnered 1,364 votes, which was 0.32%. And Uhuru Kenyatta garnered 384,280 votes, that is 89.41%. So it would be right to say that they overwhelmingly voted for Uhuru Kenyatta with the TNA in 2013. Tharaka Nithi, Uhuru Kenyatta garnered 128,397, which is 92.838%, and Raila Odinga garnered 7,120, which is 5.12%. So will these numbers change? Will Raila Odinga get a higher number in both Meru and Tharaka Nithi in the next 39 days? Will Uhuru Kenyatta up his ante and get more numbers than what he got in 2013? Let's have that conversation now with Peter Munya, the Governor of Meru County. And of course, remember, we are engaging with you. Any questions you have for Peter Munya, you can tweet me. I will definitely be directing them to him, as well as you can call. The numbers will be put on your screen shortly. Once again, thank you for joining us here on Choice 2017. Good evening, Governor. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
So why do you think you deserve to be elected on a second term by the people of Meru?
I've done a good job for the time I've been there. And I think voters normally reward a good job. If you've done a good job, you naturally should be re-elected.
Let's get into specifics. When you say you've done a good job, what are some of these projects?
Impacted in most of the sectors. If it is water, I've improved the water situation in the county. I've dug more than 17 boreholes in the drier zone. I've assisted over 800 community water projects to reach water to their homes. I've implemented many water projects that are going on right now. I've built many tanks. If it is education, I've employed ECD teachers, over 1,800. I've built over 135 classrooms, completed 90. The balance is being completed now for ECD teachers. I've paved markets across the county. I've built new markets for farmers where they have been selling their products in the dust. I've put up marketplaces. I've started a microfinance bank that has lent money to small-scale business people. Over 145 million has already been lent to small-scale businesses. That is improving their financial situation and helping them earn a livelihood. If I were to, talk about what I've done,
So by all means,
I need a lot of time. And a pull-out, which I put in the Standard and in the Nation, 24 pages detailing. In details, in summary, actually. Because
so by all means, you believe you've done well for the people of Meru?
I've done well. I'm not saying I've done everything. That's why I need a second term to complete some of the projects that I've started that require more time to complete.
Speaking of a second term, what do you have planned for the people of Meru? Do you have a manifesto? If you do, what is in it?
Well, we are now finalizing our manifesto, but we are not going to be doing anything totally different from what we have been doing. We want to make sure that the dream for water, for example, that is one of the key areas in Meru is achieved. We've done very well because there wasn't very much done for the period, for the 50 years that we have been independent in terms of assisting people to access water. We intend to build on our record to make sure that the problem of water is sorted out. We've done well. For example, Meru town, which are under shortage of water, we've been able to put new 10 million liters, building a new capacity to provide water there. There are other towns that would want to have water. There are other drier areas that require water.
Yeah.
We bought a rig last financial year, which is now working. We'd want to utilize that rig to make sure that in all the areas where there is no water in the dry zone, they have water.
When you talk about
we want to
yes,
emphasize, especially in water, storage capacity, because we have seen the biggest problem. We have many water projects across the place, but when there's dry season, because we've not worked on reservoirs and the storage, that is what we want to emphasize in the new term, working on reservoirs and the storage so that people can have water throughout the period. We also want to work more on irrigation. We haven't done much in terms of providing water for irrigation. There are some programs that are going on, but we also want to increase water for irrigation.
So in essence, the second term will be to complete projects or promises that you made in 2013 that you are yet to fulfill.
Well, to complete some of the programs I've started, for example, started that bank I'm talking about that is helping assist farmers and business people to improve on their small-scale businesses. It is still incubating because it's very young. I want to see that bank grow so that it is able to provide affordable credit to all the people across Meru. So far, we have 2 branches working, and we are opening another 4 branches. I would want, by the time I leave, that bank is able to reach every corner of Meru and is able to give credit to anybody who wants to access credit.
Okay. I
started 27 circles that are providing credit also to members. We recruited over 100,000 people into these circles. I want to leave these circles properly managed, also again expanded, and also providing credit to members.
Okay, let's talk about Mira now. Kindly,
yes.
Let me cut you short. Let's talk about Mira. In 2013, it was one of the biggest campaign issues, and seemingly it would still be in 2017. As a governor, what have you done to open up these markets and ensure that the farmers of Mira in Meru County get value for their money?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of challenges with Mira, and the biggest challenge has been foreign markets, because the local markets have not had any issue. Yeah. It is the premium markets where our Mira used to be sold in the Netherlands and in England and in Europe, generally that was closed. The responsibility of finding markets outside the country for product is a national government responsibility. You look at the way functions are divided, you will find that foreign affairs and the international trade is the responsibility of the national government. So we've been pushing the national government to carry out this mandate of assisting Mira farmers access markets that have been closed and help them open new markets. I made an effort, even to the extent of being harassed, of actually trying to get a market myself when I realized nothing was coming from the national government. I went to Somaliland, engaged the officials there, and when I came, I was told I was doing a responsibility that was not mine.
Not yours.
But I was doing it because I could see the desperate situation that farmers were in, and I could see that there are possibilities of those markets opening. And indeed now, as we speak, some Mira now goes to that destination that I traveled to visit. Okay. So my visit bore fruits, and I would think if the national government took over that responsibility more seriously, I'm sure I would be able to get somewhere in terms of getting markets. There are other challenges with Mira that also need to be addressed, and I'm happy there is an effort that has been made in addressing them. Some of them are research in terms of improving the quality of the crop and dealing with the diseases that affect the crop, that have been affecting the crop in the area. And right now we are in the process of getting land, identifying suitable land to set up a research station for Mira.
Right.
And this has been done by the national government, and they have requested us to identify this land for this research. And I think this is one step forward in terms of acceptability of Mira as a cash crop for our people, and also in terms of long-term providing long-term solutions to the challenges of crop husbandry for Meru.
All right, fair enough. You have been the chairman of the Council of Governors as the first batch of governors under the new constitution. Do you believe that devolution works from what you've seen in the past, say, 4 years?
Well, there has been a lot of improvement in terms of devolving functions that are meant for counties. Remember, there was a big bang when we took over, immediately we were elected. There was a big bang in terms of taking the function to counties and in terms of providing money. But there are still very many challenges to devolution, especially in relation to assisting institutional setup in terms of restructuring the old structure that was there, in terms of the national institutions and especially national parliament, and to some extent the Senate continuing to pass legislations that tend to roll back the clock on devolution. So devolution has done well for this short time, 4 years that we have been there. But we've seen also forces that seem to want to pull back and the clock, and that is what keeps worrying us.
Yes. But yes. As a governor and even as the chairman of COG, you were very critical of the national government as far as its support for devolution has been. Do you still stand by that? Do you think the national government has done enough to support devolution?
They have done quite well, but I wouldn't say enough. Many of the issues we've been raising as the Council of Governors are still outstanding. And issues of funding, we want still more resources sent to the counties. We've done our analysis to give an indicator of how much resources would reasonably well fund the county functions, and we've arrived at a figure which we have been proposing. So this is one of the most outstanding issues, I would say, in terms of funding, because if you have a function that is not well funded, then you are not able to be effective in carrying out that function. So the national government has done its bit, but there is still a lot that still requires to be done.
You have been on record accusing the national government of not doing much as far as devolution is concerned.
I have been accusing the national government of not doing enough in terms of helping counties take off. Remember, the Constitution gives the national government the responsibility to actually nurture devolution, help build capacity, give resources to the counties, give technical assistance to counties. I don't think they have done as much as they should have done.
So do they deserve a second term, given how you would rate their performance as far as devolution is concerned? Because you could say it was teething problems, but for some it has been the national government simply does not support devolution. Would you advocate for them to get a second term as you rate how they've performed on devolution?
Well, getting a second term will not be judged only on one issue, because I would say devolution is one issue. There are many other issues that voters will look at when they are making their overall judgment on whether the current government should get a second term. The fact that I'm saying they haven't done as well as they should on issues of devolution does not mean that the overall judgment is necessarily bad. Mm-hmm. But I would want to leave that to the voters.
Okay, let's get to the local politics. In your tenure as a governor, you had been seen to be leaning on the other side for a while. You refused to wrap up your party into Jubilee and standing strong with PNU. How's that working out for you?
The truth is, I thought that it was the right thing to do to keep the space, the democratic space that we have been enjoying, keeping Kenya being a democratic country and a pluralistic country. I thought it was unfair to try to merge parties. Because if parties want to merge, it will become a natural thing. If parties are like-minded and they want to join into a coalition or even merge, let it come naturally. I saw an attempt to force people to railroad parties into folding to serve certain political interests. I thought that was wrong.
So do you still stand by that?
I still stand by that, and my position has been proven by the rise of the independent movement. There was no independent movement in Kenya before the push to have parties closed down. So those who could not fit within the two mainstream coalitions that came had to look for some place to operate. And that's why you have now a strong independent movement that was not anticipated. It was created by that push to artificially force people into parties. Yet parties are supposed to be ideological. People are supposed to be allowed to associate freely. It's a fundamental right in our constitution for people to have, associate freely. Political parties are actually associations, if you ask me. It's like a club. You don't force people to belong to clubs. You need to let people create even more clubs. And when clubs, their agenda come together, people can be able to join those clubs into one, but not through force, intimidation, harassment, instilling fear that you'll not be elected if you don't join. I thought that was the wrong way of...
And you attacked so much for refusing to join political parties. At some point, you were even seen saying that the Deputy President, William Ruto, and Senator Kiraitu Murungi are meddling in your party's affairs.
In fact, I have not just been attacked, I have been kept permanently in court. If you look at the cases I've dealt with in terms of dealing with the party, I know even now the cases are still in court. There are forces, I don't know why they think that they must force PNU to fold or scatter PNU. There are very strong forces within government, led by the Deputy President, that constantly are fighting us. The other day, a tribunal ruled that the officials of PNU are not there, are not supposed to be officials, we should be handing over. A very bizarre ruling from the same tribunal that's allowed us and told us to go and do elections.
All right. Let's
Luckily, the High Court is there. We went to the High Court, we got an injunction, and the process is being handled, so we are still running the party. But clearly, there are forces within Jubilee government that do not want to see PNU survive. Okay,
I would still want you to comment on that, but let's take a look at what you said as far as meddling with the PNU party affairs is concerned. Let's take a look at that clip.
Tulipojaribu kuchukua ofisi yetu na tukaichukua ile ofisi ya PNU Nairobi, polisi wakaanza kukataa na tulichukua. Baadaye wakaleta hao wakora wakarundi huko. Tukaenda kotini. OCS akaitwa kotini na judge. OCS akaulizwa kwa nini unazuia watu wa PNU wasiingie ofisi yao. Unajua alijibu nini? Alisema mimi nataka protection ya court. Kwa sababu kuna watu wakubwa sana wananisuia nisifanye kazi. This is on record in court, in the High Court. Nilimani. Akaulizwa hawa ni akina nani? Akasema mtu anaitwa Kamanda. Akasema Deputy President. Na akasema Kiraitu. Huyo ni OCS anaongea. Kwa hivyo hii si mzaha, siwekelei watu. Nilikuwa nataka kumuelewe wale huwa wanapasu mambo yetu na kuharibu, kutuwekea visingiti kwa siasa zetu. Ni hawa.
All right, so those are your sentiments. You've definitely... I
stand by that. Even all these cases are instigated by those people I have talked about.
What are the issues you have?
If you look at the fellows who are in court, are fellows who are trying to manage the party. So they left the party. What interest do they still have with the party? They left the party, they wanted to be Jubilee members. Who has stopped them from being Jubilee members? They keep us in court. Who is funding them to keep us in court every day, battling case after another? There is strong forces somewhere who feel the growth of PNU in Mount Kenya region is likely to affect their quest for office in 2022, and therefore PNU must be cleared down the way so that they can have a free hand come 2022.
What issues do you have with the Deputy President, William Ruto? We know that you are supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election, but supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta technically means you're supporting Ruto as well.
For sure, if you support the president...
You support the deputy.
And the deputy they are running with your vote will also re-elect the deputy. So when I say I support President Uhuru Kenyatta, I never say I don't support the deputy in terms of...
But you seem to have issues with him.
I have serious issues with him. Serious meddling in our politics in Meru. This fight with Kraito is instigated more by DP than even Kraito. And I think maybe because of 2022, because I said I'm also running for President Camp 2022.
So do you think, why do you think Ruto is at you all the time, like you say?
I come from Mount Kenya region, and there is a feeling that that is one of the areas that will support him come 2022. So he doesn't want anybody in Mount Kenya region who can give him a challenge come 2022. It's very clear. Even the nominations of Jubilee, you saw what happened. Anybody who could give a challenge or who was rising up and to be cleared from the way. And this is what some of us saw early enough, and we said we needed to prepare ourselves by having other political vehicles that can be able to give us room to operate and room to exercise democracy in the near future and in future.
From what you're saying, any politician with such issues would not support someone they have such issues with. So still, why are you supporting them, knowing that the deputy president, like if I would use your words, is trying to stifle you and your party? Is it because of convenience?
What do you mean by convenience?
Because Mount Kenya region, if you supported, say, Raila Odinga, it would be hard for you to get votes from there.
Well, I come from Mount Kenya region, and I have also to listen to my voters. You know, every politician, you can't leave your voters. Who would you be leading? So I have to listen to what my voters tell me.
So that decision was
even
informed.
As I convince them what to do, I still also have to listen to voters.
So that decision was informed by what your voters wanted you to do, or wanted you to support?
Our region largely supports Jubilee. But there is also a strong feeling that this government has not treated us very fairly.
All right, let's take a look.
Feeling, and you can see it is there in the ground. There is also a feeling that Jubilee is overly trying to push us in a certain direction, and the voters also keep reacting. If you saw the visit by the president, you could see that reaction, especially when they try to push certain candidates who want to elect so and so, we want to elect you, so the voters react. So even as the voters in Meru support the president, they are also equally very dependent when it comes to electing their own leaders for positions of president, positions of MP, position of MCA, position of governor. Our region is quite independent. And given that they have done a good job in terms of working for Meru people, I have no doubt that I will be re-elected governor of Meru.
All right. I want us to talk about the issues with Senator Kiraitu Murungi. Let's first take a look at a number of the comments made by yourself as well as Senator Kiraitu, then we'll get back to the discussion.
I've served in opposition for 10 years. And I served in government for 10 years. That's why you heard me say, I'd rather be a sweeper in government. Right? And I have a big title in opposition. Please, Meru community, Jubilee is our house. Let us remain in our house. And let us plead with those who are thinking otherwise to come back.
Najua yeye ndiye alikuwa na hiyo idea. Unaenda unawaambia wanakufanya chairman wa kuvunja vyama. Unavunja vile mingi. Alafu sisi tukikataa na tunaanza kutengeneza vile vingine, mwisho unaanza kusema nilifanya makosa. Sasa kama ulifanya makosa, you need to, there are consequences. Hakuna makosa haina consequences. You need to resign from Jubilee. Tunaelewana? Your relevance and strength is when there are other parties.
All right, so Kiraitu is seen to say Liwe Liwalo, he will be in government. But we know that in 2013, you were on one camp and you won via one camp. What happened along the way?
We disagreed on the issues of two issues. One, we formed the party, the BAS party, with an agenda. We said, and even went to the voters, we convinced the voters to vote for the BAS candidates, because the BAS party will give us bargaining power. In Mount Kenya East, we'll be able to stand on our own feet and demand development for our region without being inside somebody else's house. And the voters bought that agenda by voting for us. So when he later told me we need to merge the party and we need to kill the party, I told him no. What happened about the dream of Mount Kenya region also producing national leadership, and then dream of Mount Kenya region having bargaining power in government for us to be able to fight for development. So that's where we disagreed. So he said he will join Jubilee. I told him, well and good, I'll look for another party to continue the dream of gaining political bargaining power for Mount Kenya East.
These are sentiments we got from a number of voters in Meru, or residents in Meru, saying BAS, so to speak, was a party they could identify with as their own. Could it be the reason why there's the kind of rebellion against Jubilee that is being witnessed in some parts of Meru?
Yeah, two reasons. One reason, of course, is that the region identified with the BAS. When I say identify, I'm not saying everybody, because, significant number of people identified with that agenda. So people felt betrayed when Senator Crichton decided to manage the party without consulting them. Even no party members were called. The population was not even told why. He individually decided to manage the party. Yet this party was not a personal property. Secondly, there has also been issues of development agenda for Meru. People feeling that certain things have not been done that they expected to be done by Jubilee. Roads that were promised that were not done, dams that were supposed to be done that were not done. So those are the two key issues that have brought that rebellion we've been seeing taking place in Meru. Jubilee has satisfied some of them. They are making an effort, and that's why you saw, again, the president received good reception when he came, because he launched certain roads. We are told now some of the dams will be done. There has also been an effort to address the issue of Meru. The issue of Meru, by the way, has also been one of the single most issues of resentment in Meru. Farmers losing livelihoods, those who are taking their children to school and living on Meru completely wiped out, and then there is no effort to help them regain their livelihoods. Those have been the underlying issues that have been bringing that kind of protest from the people there. Issues of development, issues of the senator doing what he did, and the issues of Meru also, because you could see a lot of the Meru region especially being very militant in terms of wanting the government to come in and assist them.
All right.
In dealing with their challenges.
Okay, Governor, let's take a short break. Coming back, I can see a number of questions here for you from people of Meru. We'll be letting you answer a number of them, among other things that are informing the politics of Meru County. Don't go too far. We still have a lot more Landa for you here on Choice 2017.